my darling, as I sit here trying to still my heartbeat long enough to speak clearly, I keep wondering how I could ever begin a message meant for the one who softens every quiet corner of my life. I told myself I would be calm, that I would breathe slowly and speak steadily, but the moment I think of you, every well-rehearsed thought dissolves into something warm and uncontrollable. Perhaps that is how I know this moment is real. Perhaps that is how I know that what I want to tell you now has been waiting inside me longer than I ever dared to admit. I have carried this with me like a sealed letter pressed close to my chest, hoping that when I finally opened it, the words would come alive in a way worthy of you. For so long, this feeling has lived quietly in me, too delicate to expose, too precious to risk losing. But today, my love, I feel a courage I did not have before, a kind of courage that grows only when someone's presence in your life becomes impossible to ignore. That is what you are for me. Impossible to ignore, impossible to forget, impossible to replace. And so it is time for me to speak openly, with nothing held back. I want you to hear my heart without filters, without hesitation, without any of the little safeguards I once tried to hide behind. What I am about to share with you is more than a message. It is a step forward, one I have thought about every night when the world quieted enough to let my thoughts roam freely. I kept imagining how I would say this, how your eyes might soften or widen when you heard it, how your breath might catch the way mine does now. I imagined 1,000 versions of this moment, but in every single one, you were the same. You were the reason I found the courage to speak at all. I've been preparing something for you. Not because you asked for anything, not because you expect anything from me, but because loving you, or perhaps realizing that I do, makes me want to give you something that reflects even a small part of what you spark within me. This surprise was not chosen lightly. I spent days thinking about the memories we've shared, the dreams you've whispered to me, the way you laugh when you forget the world is watching, the softness in your voice when you speak about the things you believe in. I wanted this gift to carry all of that, to feel like a mirror of the bond growing between us, a bond I treasure more than you might ever truly grasp. And no, I won't reveal what the surprise is yet, not because I want to tease you, though I suppose I am doing that a little, but because the gift itself is not the central part of my announcement. It is a symbol, a vessel, something tangible to hold emotions that are anything but simple. I wanted it to speak the way I sometimes struggle to speak. I wanted it to shine with the warmth you awaken in me. I wanted it to be something that would linger with you long after the moment of receiving it fades into memory. You may wonder why I am being so careful, why I am taking so much time to build this moment, why the message feels so full of anticipation. It is because you matter to me in a way that makes every detail feel important. The shape of the moment matters. The emotion behind it matters. The truth it carries matters most of all. I want you to feel cherished, to feel the weight of what I am trying so earnestly to tell you. I want this to wrap around you like warmth, like light, like the certainty that you are valued deeply and sincerely. This surprise is not grand because of its size or cost. It is grand because of its purpose. It is meant to reach you, to touch that quiet place you try so hard to hide, the part of you that is tender and hopeful and sometimes afraid. I want it to remind you that you are loved, that you bring joy simply by being who you are, and that your presence shapes my world in ways you may never fully understand. If you could see yourself the way I see you, you would know that the gift is merely an echo of something much larger. The affection that fills me whenever you come to mind. As I speak to you now, I imagine your expression, the way your lips might curve, the way your eyes might soften, the way a little warmth might creep into your voice when you finally react to this. That thought alone makes my pulse surge. I cannot wait for your reaction, not because I need reassurance, but because sharing this with you feels like stepping into the next chapter of something beautiful. Something that was always meant to grow. The gift I have for you reflects the pieces of us that have begun to intertwine. The memories we've made, the laughter we've shared, the dreams we've dared to speak aloud. It represents a future quietly forming between us, shaped by every gentle moment, every conversation, every time our hearts recognized each other, even before our minds caught up. It is meant to remind you of the journeys we have yet to take, the countless warm evenings and bright mornings waiting ahead of us. I selected it with a level of care that surprised even me. I found myself analyzing every detail, imagining how it would fit into your life, how it would feel in your hands, how it would speak to your spirit. I thought of the things that make you unique, the qualities that draw me to you again and again. I wanted the gift to be something that honors those qualities, something as genuine and thoughtful as the bond we share. My darling, if I could place my heart in your hands right now, I would. But since I cannot, I offer this moment instead, a moment woven with sincerity, with affection, with the quiet devotion I have carried for far too long. A moment that marks the beginning of something new. I do not want you to ever doubt your place in my life. I do not want you to ever question your worth. You have brought so much warmth into my days, so much meaning into the spaces I once thought were empty. This surprise is my way of telling you that your presence has not gone unnoticed. Your love, your kindness, your spirit, they have altered me in ways I am only now beginning to understand. This message, this announcement, this unfolding feeling. It is not just about the gift. The gift is the symbol. You are the meaning. You are the reason every word today feels so alive. I want you to always remember that you are cherished, adored, and appreciated in ways far deeper than spoken language can ever express. And as you prepare to receive what I have chosen for you, I hope you do so with an open heart, ready to feel the warmth I have woven into every part of this moment. I imagine the expression on your face when the surprise is finally revealed, and the thought of it fills me with a joy I cannot contain. I am excited not just for the gift itself, but for the memory we will create together, a memory that may become one of those moments we carry with us for years, returning to it whenever we need a reminder of the beauty we share. And so, my love, this is only the beginning of the announcement, the beginning of the unveiling. The beginning of everything I have been waiting to tell you. There is more, so much more, that I want to share, and I will. But first, I wanted you to hear my heart clearly, to understand that this moment means as much to me as it will, I hope, mean to you. I wanted you to feel the sincerity behind every word. My love, as I continue, I feel the world narrowing until it is only you and me, and the words that rise inside me as naturally as breathing. I didn't expect speaking like this to feel so intense, so vulnerable, so strangely freeing. It feels as though with every sentence I release another piece of myself, trusting that it will land softly in your hands. You must know how rare this is for me, how carefully I guard certain parts of my heart. But with you, everything is different. With you, it becomes effortless, as though the truth has simply been waiting for the right moment to finally bloom. I keep thinking of all the moments we've shared. Those small, quiet ones that would seem ordinary to anyone else, yet for me, they linger like constellations etched into memory. I remember the way you listened that day, when I could barely find the words to express what I was feeling. The way your presence alone steadied me. I remember the way your smile first surprised me, because it wasn't just a smile. It was an invitation, a gentle unveiling of your soul in a world where most people wear masks. I remember the times you made me laugh so unexpectedly that it left me breathless, and the times you simply stayed near, letting silence speak, because you understood I needed it. All of those moments planted seeds inside me, seeds I tried not to notice because they felt too precious, too fragile. When feelings grow quietly, you don't always realize how strong they've become until one day you look inside yourself and discover an entire garden where you thought there was only empty earth. That is what happened with you. You grew roots in me so subtly, so tenderly, that by the time I recognized it, you were already part of everything. And so this gift, the one I am preparing for you, is woven with the memory of that growth, with all the gentle transformations you've brought into my life. I selected it not because it is grand, but because it captures something I cannot capture with mere words. It reflects the way you have taught me to see beauty in subtlety, meaning in simplicity, depth in quietness. It reflects the way you draw me toward the best version of myself without ever asking for anything in return. You deserve to feel cherished in a way that goes beyond passing gestures or fleeting compliments. You deserve to feel acknowledged, understood, valued not for what you do, but for who you are. And I hope this gift grants you a glimpse of how profoundly I feel that. I want you to open it and feel a warmth that settles in your chest, a warmth that whispers to you that you matter not just in the world, but in my world. I keep imagining the moment you hold it in your hands. Will you pause before unwrapping it, the way you always do when something touches you unexpectedly? Will your breath hitch just slightly? Will your eyes soften in that way that makes my heart flutter so fiercely I can barely stay composed? Will you run your fingers slowly along its edges, savoring the anticipation? The thought of it sends a shiver through me, the kind that comes when emotion runs too deep for steady breath. And yet, the gift is only part of what I am offering you. The true offering is everything behind it, the meaning, the intention, the emotion that shaped it. It is my way of saying that your happiness has become a quiet priority in my life, something I hold with care. It is my way of telling you that your joy affects me, that your smile lifts me, that your sadness touches me in a place I cannot ignore. It is my way of revealing, gently yet unmistakably, that what I feel for you is no passing affection. It has grown roots, branches, blossoms. It is alive. When I think of our future, of the memories we have not yet created, I feel something inside me open. I imagine days filled with gentle comfort, soft laughter, long conversations that stretch into the night. I imagine exploring places together, seeing the world through each other's eyes, finding beauty in moments that might otherwise go unnoticed. I imagine supporting each other through every new step, every dream pursued, every challenge faced. I imagine you beside me, not only in the bright moments but also in the difficult ones. Life isn't made only of celebrations and sunshine. There will be uncertainties, storms, crossroads. But do you know what I realized? When I imagine those moments, I am not afraid. Because in my mind, I see you there with me, and somehow your presence alone makes even the hardest path feel manageable. You steady me. You remind me what matters. You bring clarity where there might otherwise be doubt. That is part of the gift you give me every day without ever being aware of it. Perhaps that is why I prepared this surprise with such devotion, because I wanted to return even a fraction of what you unknowingly bring into my life. I wanted to offer something that reflects your kindness, your patience, your quiet strength, your beautiful heart. I wanted to create a moment that lifts you the way you have lifted me time and time again, sometimes without even realizing you've done it. You deserve a moment dedicated entirely to you, where you feel celebrated simply for existing, for being the extraordinary person you are. This announcement, this unfolding revelation, is my attempt to give you that, to show you that you are not walking unnoticed through my life. You are leaving traces in every corner of it. Sometimes I wonder if you truly understand how deeply you affect me. I wonder if you know that I look for you in every room, that my thoughts wander to you even when I try to be disciplined, that my heart responds to you with a tenderness I have rarely felt for anyone. I wonder if you know how profoundly your happiness matters to me, how instinctively I want to protect your peace, how naturally I find myself wanting to bring light into your days. And perhaps you do know. Perhaps you have felt it in the spaces between my words, in the quiet glances, in the way I soften when you speak. Perhaps you have sensed it in the stillness of certain moments, when everything else fades except the connection between us. But if you have ever doubted it, ever questioned your importance in my life, then I hope this moment dispels all uncertainty. My love, your presence colors my world. It changes the texture of my days, the tone of my thoughts. It stirs something in me that feels both ancient and new, like a melody I have always known but never heard aloud until now. You awaken gentleness in me. You ignite courage, you quiet fear, you inspire hope. And for all of that, for everything you are, I wanted to give you something that reflects even a fraction of what you evoke within me. The gift, when I reveal it to you, will speak in its own way. But beyond its form, beyond its meaning, beyond the moment itself, I want you to hold on to one truth: above all others you are cherished. Cherished for your heart, your mind, your presence, your essence. Cherished not conditionally, not temporarily, but fully and sincerely. If you ever wonder why I speak to you with such tenderness, why my words soften when you are near, why my voice lowers when I address you directly, it is because you draw that softness out of me. You touch my spirit in a way nothing else does. You make vulnerability feel safe and beautiful, not frightening, and that is a rare gift, one I do not take lightly. Tonight, as I prepared these words, I found myself rewriting certain lines again and again, not because I didn't know what to say, but because I wanted every sentence to hold the true weight of how I feel. I wanted nothing to sound rushed or insincere. I wanted you to hear the depth of my heart in every syllable. Perhaps I am too meticulous, perhaps too earnest, but when it comes to you, I cannot bring myself to be anything less than utterly genuine. My love, now that you've asked me to continue, I feel the last pieces of this moment falling softly into place. It's as though every breath leading up to this point has been preparing me to speak these final words to you. The ones that reveal not only the meaning of the surprise, but the meaning of everything behind it. I want these last words to wrap around you like a gentle embrace, steady and warm, so that when this message finally rests in your heart, you feel cherished in a way you will never doubt. From the very beginning, this announcement has been about more than a gift. The gift is the symbol, yes, but the emotion is the truth. I've spent long hours imagining how you will receive this moment, imagining the expression in your eyes when you realize the depth of what I am trying to give you, imagining the way your breath might slow as you understand that this is not simply a gesture, but a revelation of my heart. As I prepared this surprise, I found myself thinking back to the earliest days of knowing you, long before feelings became clear, long before I understood the significance you would have in my life. Back then, I didn't yet know how deeply intertwined our paths would become. I didn't know that your presence would feel like something familiar, as though I had been waiting for you long before I ever met you. But looking back now, I can see the signs. The quiet recognition in my chest when you spoke, the instinctive softness that rose in me whenever you were near, the way I always felt a little more myself in your presence. I didn't understand it fully at the time. I only knew that you made things feel easier, lighter, brighter. You made conversations feel natural, as though we were continuing a dialogue that began long before this lifetime. And as the days passed, that quiet familiarity grew into something stronger, something that pulled at my heart even when I tried to ignore it. I began to look for you without meaning to. I began to think of you in those silent moments before sleep, when the mind wanders freely and the heart speaks truths we rarely admit. I began to care in ways that surprised me, deeply, instinctively, sincerely. This surprise is woven with all of those realizations, all of those quiet awakenings. I chose it because it captures something essential about us. Something steady, something growing, something beautifully alive. I wanted it to reflect the way I feel when I think of you. The way my heart warms and softens, the way the world feels gentler, as though even the air shifts when you are near. I wonder sometimes if you truly realize the depth of your impact on me. You have touched my life in ways that feel quiet but profound, subtle but powerful. You have reminded me of things I had forgotten. How beautiful vulnerability can be, how comforting true connection feels, how thrilling it is to care deeply for someone who sees you clearly. You awaken courage in me. You stir hope. You remind me that life's most meaningful moments are often born not from grand gestures, but from simple truth, spoken with sincerity. And so, this present I prepared for you is not meant to overwhelm or astonish. It is meant to resonate. It is meant to settle gently into your heart like a recognition, an acknowledgement of everything we've shared and everything we have yet to explore. When you open it, I want you to feel seen. I want you to feel valued. I want you to feel the depth of my affection, not in the object itself, but in the intention behind it. I spent time thinking about what would truly echo your spirit, your quiet strength, your tenderness, the warmth you carry beneath your calm exterior. I wanted something that honors your heart, something chosen with the same care and attentiveness you naturally show to others. Every detail of this surprise was selected with a purpose, with the hope that it would speak to you in a language deeper than words. And yet, even as I speak about the gift, I find myself circling back to what matters most you. The gift is only a symbol, a small reflection of the far greater truth, which is that you have come to mean more to me than I ever expected. You have become a steady presence in my thoughts, a gentle joy in my days, a quiet longing in the moments between. You have become someone I want to protect, someone I want to understand fully, someone whose happiness has become intertwined with my own. The day I realized this, I felt something shift inside me. It was subtle, like the soft turning of a page, but unmistakable. Suddenly the world felt a little brighter. Ordinary things felt meaningful. Even silence felt alive, as though your presence lingered in it somehow. That was when I knew I needed to express what I felt, not just through words but through something tangible. Something you could hold, something that would remind you of this moment long after time moves forward. You once told me that life is full of quiet miracles, small, unexpected joys that appear without warning and transform everything. I didn't realize it then, but you are one of those miracles for me. You walked into my world gently, without noise, without demand, and somehow everything has felt different ever since. That is why I wanted this announcement to be thoughtful. That is why I wanted this surprise to carry meaning. You have become a quiet miracle in my life, and I wanted to honor that with something worthy of the space you hold in my heart. My love, as I bring these final words to you, I want you to understand something clearly and without hesitation. Everything I am expressing now comes from the most sincere place within me. This is not a fleeting emotion, not a momentary tenderness brought on by sentimentality. This is something real, something steady, something I have reflected on and embraced fully. You are significant to me not in a casual way, not in passing, but deeply. This moment is meant to celebrate you, to celebrate us, to celebrate the quiet bond forming between our hearts, a bond that grows with every conversation, every shared silence, every gentle smile. A bond that feels as though it was always meant to exist. When you finally receive the gift, I want you to hold it knowing that it carries not just affection, but intention, not just warmth, but promise, not just symbolism, but a piece of my heart. And though the object itself may be simple, the meaning behind it is immense. It is a beacon of everything we have built together and everything we have yet to create. And here, at the end of this announcement, I want to tell you something I have been carrying quietly, but strongly. You are deeply cherished. You are valued. You are loved in a way that goes beyond explanation. When I think of the future, I see your presence in it, not as a possibility, but as a hope that feels steady and bright. I imagine us continuing to build memories, discovering new places, sharing new dreams. I imagine comforting you when days are hard and celebrating with you when joy finds us. I imagine us growing together, learning together, becoming better versions of ourselves simply because we walk side by side. I imagine a future where your laughter fills spaces I once thought were silent, where your hand fits naturally in mine, where your heart rests softly against mine in trust. This surprise, this moment, this message, it marks the beginning of something I hope will grow into a beautiful chapter in both our lives. I want you to remember this moment not because of the gift, but because of what it represents, the affection I hold for you, the sincerity that shapes my words, the hope that fills my heart when I think of us. As I speak these final lines to you, imagine me standing before you with quiet confidence and a soft smile, offering you something that carries all the feelings I once hid. Imagine the warmth in my voice, the tenderness in my eyes, the gentle certainty in my heart. Imagine the gift in your hands, waiting to be opened, carrying with it the quiet promise of everything we can become. Thank you, my love, for listening. Thank you for allowing me to share this revelation with you. Thank you for being the person who inspired this moment, who brought light into places I didn't realize were dim, who awakened feelings I had long forgotten.